If you don't mind being recorded, as many of you know, I'm in school, so this is for my speech class. However, the topic that I'm doing is identity theft, so I thought that it would be beneficial for you all. That's why I'm presenting it to you today. Okay, so according to the Federal Trade Commission, identity theft affects more than 2,000 people worldwide each day. And an estimate of 9 million Americans have their identity stolen each year. The Federal Trade Commission reports that it is the fastest growing crime, and the estimate it occurs every 79 seconds. So in our society, it is encouraged to help others, people helping people. So who can our members trust when there's thieves out there to get their information? Working here at TUCU, I have seen members get scammed all the time. And one particular one that's recently happening is from the IRS. Our members have been getting phone calls pretending to be, someone that they're not. They're pretending to be someone from the IRS, and they call our members, and they tell them that they owe money, so they want a payment made right there and then. So they start asking for personal information. They start asking for their social security numbers, their credit card information, and I mean that's something that the IRS should already have. So the members, they don't know, so they give them their information. And what the thieves end up doing with this information is that they end up getting into the members' accounts, and they end up draining their accounts. So this is when a lot of times when we start seeing members coming into the financial institution because they see that these fraudulent charges, so they come in to dispute them. So being a member service representative, it is our job to help our members, to teach them, to be able to inform them of how to protect their identity. So being a member service representative at TSU is something that our members can trust. So the three things that I'm going to be covering today is how identity theft occurs, how identity theft affects our members, and the steps to take to prevent identity theft. So people that steal identities have different ways of getting your information. The 5 most common are dumpster diving, listing information, obtaining a credit report, and shoulder surfing and data breaches. Thieves that go through our trash, that's called dumpster diving. Thieves will go through the trash to see what personal information they can retrieve. For example, receipts, statements, and anything that has a member's name. So that's why it's important for them to shred the documents, as well as ourselves. It's important that we shred our documents. Thieves can list documents or receipts that are signature-based. And when listing this information, especially the signature, they are able to open up other accounts under the member's name, or they can open up credit cards under that person's name. So not securing important documents can be one of the easiest ways for thieves to obtain vital information. And it can be as easy as taking an imprint, or even now with technology, you can just take a photo of it. So it's important that we're securing those documents in a secure place. Like for the example that I just gave, thieves will impersonate a person in order to obtain your credit report. One that I have seen is where people pretend to be a landlord, and you think that they're a landlord, so you're wanting to either rent or buy an apartment, and you give them your social security number, and with this information, they can obtain your credit report. When they pull your credit report, they're able to see personal information like credit card numbers, credit history, employment, and much more information. Thieves will lurk around to see what they can hear, see, and this is called shoulder surfing. It's important that anytime that you're using an ATM, as well as our members, look around to see if you see anyone kind of looking or suspicious. A lot of times that's how they're able to retrieve our PIN number. Also, when you're on the phone, be careful of your surrounding and who's there, and who's listening to your conversation, because a lot of the thieves can pick up a lot of things just from talking on the phone. The most common one, and this is one that we see a lot here, are data breaches. These are thieves that break into a business computer system. So on creditcard.com, they reported a couple of data breaches. So the first one is eBay. 145 million records were assessed. Home Depot, 109 million records were assessed. JP Morgan Chase, 83 million records were assessed. Michael's Stores, 3 million records assessed. Staples, 1.16 million records assessed. Domino's Pizza, 650,000 records assessed. Sony Pictures Entertainment, 47,000 records assessed. Target, 40 million credit card numbers and 70 million addresses assessed. Neiman Marcus, 350,000 cardholders were impacted. So this information, from the data breaches, whatever information they're able to retrieve, the thieves are able to make unauthorized transactions. Or they also they're able to sell that information that they retrieve to other criminals for them to use. So identity theft, as you can see, affects our society. It affects our members and their families. The top two things that thieves do when they have this information, the first one is they drain the accounts. So for this one, a lot of our members, they save up all this money, their hard-earned money, and then in an instant, it could be taken away. In the United States Department of Justice, there's a particular case in Florida. A woman was indicted and pleaded guilty to federal charges involving her obtaining a fraudulent driver's license in the name of the victim. Using the license, she was able to withdraw more than $13,000 from the victim's bank account, and obtaining five department store credit cards in the victim's name and charging approximately $4,000 on those cards. The second one is that thieves can use this information to run up charges on debit and credit cards. An example that I have, this one was provided from Harlan Clark. An identity thief opens up a new credit card account an identity theft opens up a new credit account in an account holder's name. The thief is able to establish an address different from the account holder, which may be a post office box or a vacant apartment used as a mail pickup. When the thief fails to pay on the account, which is usually the case, the creditor will send a warning notice to the address on file or to the thief. So the member won't even know what's going on until it's too late. Obviously, this is not the account holder's address, therefore the account holder will not know anything about the impending negative notice on his or her credit report. So one of the biggest sources of identity theft comes from credit and debit card fraud. Creditcard.com reported that about 31.8 million U.S. consumers had their credit cards breached in 2014, more than 3 times the number affected in 2013. So now that you know how identity theft affects the members, there are 4 steps that they can take to prevent it from being stolen. The first one, make sure that the members look over their credit card and bank statements carefully and often. It is important that they review their statements to make sure that there are no fraudulent charges on the account. The second one, make sure you keep track of when you're supposed to get your statements. If they do not receive their statement, it might have been stolen, and they need to come in to take a look at it. Third, make sure to shred any documents with personal and financial information. Shredding documents makes it harder for thieves to steal the information. Make sure to review your credit report at least once a year. Reviewing the credit card report, they're able to make sure that there wasn't any accounts open under their name that they're unaware of. So to sum it all up, I have discussed how identity theft occurs, how identity theft affects our members, and the steps to prevent identity theft. So in a society of people helping people, as a member service representative, we are someone that our members can trust.